Steve Cropper, you are the soundtrack of my life. Wow. You know, it is interesting to walk around with a legend and hear people tell stories about, you know, my dad listened to this, and I remember when that song came out, and you've had a charmed life, my man.
Yeah,
you've had a charmed life.
Very fortunate.
A charmed life indeed. You're not going to believe this, but one of the biggest questions, maybe you will, that I'm getting from people is, I'm going to take about 50 emails and compress them into one, and it's basically this. My child seems to have artistic talent. I don't care to live off my child's musical abilities or through my child, but what is the best way to encourage them and foster that talent? Is it lessons? How early is too early to start? I know yours was things are different now. You didn't have Honey Boo Boos back when you were a kid,
exactly.
But one of the questions is people don't want to push their kid too much. They want to encourage this as a hobby and as a passion and a lifelong thing and not a job. But I'm sure you've received this question before. How do you answer that?
Well, as a parent, I think one of the rules is you want to be as supportive as you can, but you don't really want to be the person doing all the legwork because that can get in your way. You just want to support your child and let them know you're behind them 100%. The other thing is in terms of actually making a career out of music, it's almost impossible for a person to just luck up and be an overnight success. You really have to find somebody that is in that end of the business, meaning like management, that's going to take that talent and take that artist and be on that phone every day promoting and supporting that artist and trying to find that artist work or a place in the music business or get them a record deal or however you want to do it. It really takes an organization of people to push that over.
Knowing what you know now, after all these years and all those artists, what do you wish you'd known at the beginning of your career? What's that lesson that it took a long time to learn about the business?
That's a great question. That's one I'm going to have to stay up tonight and think about. I've led a charmed life of a sense. I've had about 3 different careers and still going on another one. I'm always telling people when they want me to do something, I said, man, I ain't got time for another career. You know, I'm running out of days
and
here.
You're
Why don't we
play
just
golf?
stick with what we got and go there? You know?
And you're trying to spend most of your time playing golf.
Well, or fishing, and I'm not getting to do either one. But there was a dead spot in my life where I took some time off. When John Belushi died, I just kind of said, man, that's it. I've had it, you know, because I've been through that before. We lost our drummer. We lost Otis Redding and some other people, other artists that I'd worked with. And Belushi just did it all. It was like you talk about letting the air out of a balloon. I just didn't have any reason or want or need to be successful or do anything. We did the movie, we did great, and all of a sudden the wind came out of our sails. We were ready to make another movie, we were ready to do another tour, another record, and boom, it's all gone. John Belushi's gone. So I don't know what I wish I had done different because I stayed on that same positive path about being commercial to entertain people, to give them what they needed, what they wanted, and so forth. And, you know, the older I got, then I kind of lost, not my way, but lost the ability to be able to do that. And when I was with Stax or had my own label, I was in more control about what went on and what went out. Let's put it that way. And when you lose that, then you have to depend on other people to support you.
Steve Cropper is our guest. When you look at your body of work, and we were talking last night, you're still writing songs. I mean, you're still writing a lot of songs.
Sure, I love to write. That's
What
fun.
What are you most proud of? If you were forced to identify one thing,
I can't nail it down to one thing because I always get off. What's your favorite song? And there's so many factors in there. But the most fun that I get out of life, of being alive and still being here, and I have fun performing for people. I'm having fun right now talking to you and talking to your audience. That's great. But as far as getting a thrill out of it, the biggest thrill I get is hearing a song that I've written on the radio. I get a bigger thrill out of that, believe it or not, than I do hearing a song in a movie. There's something about radio, and you hear it on the radio, you're sitting in your car, and you go, hey, I had something to do with it. Hey, that's me. There's just something that's rewarding about that, and I'll never get over it. And I try to tell students or people that want to know, I said, the greatest thrill you're ever going to have in your life is the first time you hear your record or your song on the radio.
You told me some pretty fascinating stories of touring with Jimmy Buffett, Neil Young, Eric Clapton, and the Beatles wanted to come to Memphis and play with you. You've played with some amazing people over the years, and you being in airports, and you and Bobby Womack, and you and James Brown, and being in a movie with James Brown. Who is, you can only have one, and you have to answer this. Who is the one artist that you didn't get to play with that you say, if I could have one chit, that's it? And I said, chit.
Well, it's too late now, but there's only one answer.
What's that?
Tina Turner.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I've always said that. I've said it for years.
Is it the
I
legs?
get asked, who's the one artist that you didn't get to work with that you would have loved to work with? And the first name is Tina Turner.
Wow.
She was just unbelievable. I saw her 3 times live and couldn't believe it.
You have a lot of respect for her because you had you were dismissive of the statement that's been made of her that she was an overnight success because you said she'd been at it for 40 years.
Yeah.
Is it that she works so hard? What is so special about her?
I don't know, but the thing I got out of her as an artist and seeing her live, she was a female Otis Redding. And to me, Otis Redding was the greatest artist that ever lived. You had to live with him. You had to be there. You had to see it in person because it's so hard to describe how great somebody is. But it's easy to see if you could take somebody to a concert. And what's a nice reward for me with some of my fans over in the UK when I go over there with the Animals and so forth, I have people come up and say, I saw that concert you did in London or wherever in 1967. I was there. I was 12 years old. My dad brought me, but I remember Otis Redding. He was unbelievable, and so that's a thrill to have witnesses say the same thing I've been saying. He was just fantastic.
You know what I love is that you're a musician, you're in the Hall of Fame, Songwriters Hall of Fame, but you're a fan. Oh, wow.
I don't want to lose this good thing that I got. If I do, I would surely lose a lot. 'Cause your love is better than any love I know. It's like thunder, lightning. The way she loves me is frightening. I think I better knock on wood.
Wow. That's the story right there. You should just tell that story all the time, everywhere. Have you reduced all this storytelling to YouTube videos? This should be saved for perpetuity. That is good stuff. That is. Can you give me in the midnight hour the opener, and then knock on wood backwards so I can see if that's truly, and we'll decide right here and now if that's backwards or not.
If anybody out there plays guitar, there's dots on the guitar, and they're usually all in the same places. So just go up to the D chord and follow the dots. That's midnight hour. Now follow one back up.
Well, you make it seem easy.
Makes life pretty simple, doesn't it?
Wow. That almost seems like something I can do, but I know good and well I can't.
Oh, sure
That is that's pretty neat right there.
You know, people come to me and they say, how did you learn how to play guitar? And I said, it's real simple. You just learn one note, and then you learn to play it in different positions.
Yeah, and you know what I find is that people that are really, really good at what they do, they make things seem really easy.
Absolutely. If you don't believe that, watch a golf pro.
Oh, my goodness.
And then go try to duplicate it.
What was it like, or what is it like, you still do it, to tour with Eric Clapton?
Well, I never did really tour with Eric. I played on stage with him a few times. Doug Dunn did, my good buddy. Played bass with Eric for about 2.5 years, I think.
If you're on stage...
Eric's a wonderful guy. He's fantastic.
You said he's got little bitty fingers compared to you.
He's got tiny little bony fingers. Yeah.
But, man, can he play.
Oh, he's unbelievable.
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
He was good when he was young, and he's better now. So.
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh, God, the sounds he got out of that guitar was unbelievable. And the respect he had for Albert King. And they do a show, there's a record out where they're doing a live show. and I'm not sure that Albert knew who Stevie was, or if he did, he pretended he didn't. He said, I taught the boy everything he knows. But Stevie Ray Vaughan, he's one of the best guitar players to ever be alive, period. He's awesome. And a great guy.
You mentioned Albert King, so can I ask you for a little bit of the Hunter?
I don't remember it. I never played the Hunter. They
You
call
wrote
me
the
Hunter. Well, I wrote a lot of songs. I had over close to 700 released on singles.
Is that right?
Yeah. I
Wow.
can't remember all those. I know Paul Simon remembers all 12,000 he wrote.
I read that.
But he does it for a living. I don't. I'm just a guitar player in a band.
Oh, really? you seem to. You cannot play the Hunter that you wrote. You know what?
Well, they call me the Hunter. I remember that.
We got a press release. Steve Cropper doesn't know his own music. That's going to be the headline tomorrow.
I wrote what?
6345789. You know that?
I do.
Can we get a little bit of it?
Yeah. We did it in a different key.
He wrote this, by the way, folks. Most of you know.
That's too simple. Well, if you need some of my good hugging, you just call me. That's all you got to do. And if you want some of my good hugging, baby, you just call me. Call me right away. Well, I'll be right here at home. And all you got to do is just pick up your cell phone and punch it in now. 6, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. That's my number.
But Paw, that don't have enough numbers in it.
Doesn't have enough numbers in it. So I've been using that. Get your cell phone and punch it in because they didn't even have cell phones when we wrote that. They hadn't even been perceived, I don't think. Or
they had what they call them, field telephones.
I guess, yeah, wind-ups.
How about a little Mr. Pitiful?
Whoa. Man, that's
I'm sorry to ask you to perform a song you wrote.
They call me Mr. Pitiful.
I love this song.
This everybody knows. They call me Mr. Pitiful. Almost everywhere I go. I can't even play it. There you go.
We should have done Mr. Pitiful when we were in our
How long has it been since I tried to play that?
Otis Redding phase.
47 years.
Wow. What's scary is that you know it
and
came
I never
out 47 years
Well,
ago.
I remember the song.
Well, I know, but how would you know the year? You don't know this. You don't know the Hunter.
Well, I said about. I skated around the actual date.
How about Raise Your Hand?
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. And the little intro, the little Hispanic intro. That's my favorite changes.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's a little off of the 2/4 changes. It's a little different.
Does it have anything to do with the fact that you wrote it?
I don't know. Eddie and I had a big time. We wrote that in the same place, Lorraine Motel. We wrote 6, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. For those who don't know where the Lorraine Motel is or what it represents, it's now the national shrine, I guess, for Martin Luther King. That's where he was assassinated. We wrote, talk about number songs. In one of the rooms, we wrote 99 and a half. I can give you part of that. Just won't do. Oh no, I got to have 100. You got to bring it on down and stop living right.